Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving right into a truly fascinating medical mystery. We're looking at a chemical inside our brains that is practically famous for helping us feel good. But as researchers have just discovered, it actually harbors a hidden dark side. It turns out it's secretly amplifying a highly distressing physical condition for millions of people. It's a classic scientific whodunit, where the standard go-to treatment for one major issue turns out to be the hidden trigger for another. To really understand the scale of this mystery, we have to look at this number, 14%. Researchers estimate that as many as 14% of people globally experience the persistent ringing, buzzing, or hissing of tinnitus. That is hundreds of millions of people. And for a massive portion of those individuals, the cases are considered severe. Just imagine living every single waking moment with a constant blaring alarm bell in your head that you simply cannot turn off, all while you're desperately looking for answers. Okay, let's break down this paradox by comparing what we thought we knew against this wild new discovery. For decades, we've praised serotonin as our brain's premier feel-good chemical, right? It helps fight depression, eases anxiety, heavily regulates our overall mood. It's the absolute superstar of mental health maintenance. But a recent paradigm-shifting discovery has revealed an incredibly frustrating side effect. Scientists have uncovered hard evidence showing that this exact same mood-boosting chemical secretly triggers or significantly worsens the persistent phantom noises of tinnitus. This brings us directly to SSRIs, the widely prescribed antidepressants that are the frontline treatment for moderate to severe depression and anxiety. They do brilliant work by intentionally boosting the amount of available serotonin in the brain. But knowing what we just uncovered about serotonin's hidden connection to that auditory ringing, the mechanical act of flooding the brain with this chemical creates a massive, unintended consequence. For years, clinical doctors were sitting on a crucial clue. Patients were consistently coming into clinics and reporting a very specific side effect. They were saying that their ear ringing actually got noticeably louder and far more intense right after they started taking these exact serotonin-boosting medications. Imagine the intense frustration there. You finally seek help for severe anxiety, you take your medication exactly as prescribed, and suddenly the maddening buzzing in your ears turns up to an unbearable volume. Researchers strongly suspected serotonin played a role, but the exact mechanical link inside the brain, total mystery. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer burden for those patients. Because for some, that nonstop ringing creates a deep, overwhelming physical anxiety that severely disrupts concentration, sleep, the whole shebang. It triggers this devastating vicious cycle. You take medication to treat your baseline psychiatric anxiety, but the mechanism of that very medication physically amplifies the screaming siren in your ears. That heightened auditory distress then loops right back around to generate even more psychological anxiety. It's an exhausting spiral. So, how do we fix it? That brings us to part 1, Mapping the Brain Circuit, an incredible joint investigation by Oregon Health and Science University and Anhui University. To solve this mystery, these scientific detectives had to literally track the hidden wiring of the brain. They needed microscopic precision to find where serotonin was crossing paths with the auditory system. Enter a cutting-edge tool called optogenetics. It uses fiber optics and light to act almost like a targeted microscopic laser pointer, allowing the team to activate very specific brain cells and isolate the exact root cause of the ringing. Now, what's really fascinating here is how they proved it. The researchers took mice and used this precise light technology to literally flip a switch, activating only the highly specific neurons responsible for producing serotonin. The very moment they did that, the auditory regions of the mouse brains physically lit up with intense activity. Then, to confirm what the mice were actually experiencing, they ran a modified auditory startle test. The results were undeniable. The animals began behaving exactly as if they were hearing the phantom high-pitched noises of severe tinnitus. So the crucial takeaway is that the researchers didn't just suspect serotonin was guilty anymore. They caught it red-handed. Dr. Zhangquan Tang and the team found the exact crossed circuit linking serotonin straight to the auditory system. But the most exciting part? When they used their optogenetic tools to intentionally turn that specific circuit off, they significantly ameliorated the tinnitus. They successfully found the biological off switch. Let's move to part 2, validating patient experiences. This is about solving the mystery and finally finding some much-needed emotional vindication. Beyond just being a massive scientific breakthrough, discovering this physical circuit provides profound emotional validation. As co-senior author Dr. Lawrence Trussell explains here, this biological proof means patients weren't just imagining things. For years, they might have felt like their doctors simply didn't believe that their vital depression medication was the actual culprit making their ears ring. But this proves their medications truly were amplifying the noise. Of course, this powerful validation highlights a very real medical dilemma. Patients and their doctors are forced to manage a pharmacological double-edged sword. On one side, patients desperately require relief from severe psychiatric symptoms, like depression and anxiety. On the other side, they have to minimize the intense phantom noises ringing through their heads. Right now, it's a precarious tightrope walk to manage one without drastically worsening the other. But it won't be that way forever. That brings us to part 3, future treatment possibilities and separating the good from the bad. This clearer picture of the brain points toward a very hopeful future. Dr. Trussell suggests that by mapping this circuit, scientists may soon develop highly specific cell or brain region targeted drugs. Imagine an antidepressant designed to steer serotonin exclusively to the parts of the brain that regulate your mood, while completely bypassing that auditory circuit. By physically separating the beneficial effects from the harmful ones, scientists could theoretically treat severe depression with absolute precision without ever touching the patient's hearing. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought for today's explainer. As we uncover the secrets of the brain's wiring down to the specific microscopic circuit, how close are we to perfectly targeted medications that offer all the relief with absolutely none of the ringing? Unlocking this serotonin mystery is a massive first step, and it has the immense potential to not just silence the noise, but profoundly change millions of lives. Thanks for diving into this incredible scientific breakthrough with me today.